Yeah, so Joel came back from Manchester with Lauren because she'd been for a tattoo, and they were back very late. So we got a late night pizza, and
Later than anticipated.
And I ate that whole late night pizza, and that pizza went through me
all the way through.
All the way, and then I had a vindaloo last night, and I'm reliving it.
Yeah, but you didn't even eat much of the vindaloo. Like a couple of spoonfuls just wrecked your anus.
Yeah.
Well, I know what's going at the start of this podcast.
Oh.
I saw you hit the record button.
Last time it was sweat. It was sweat last time. It's poo this time.
You gotta get those fetishists in here.
In a similar vein, though, I won that one time where we went round to Joel's for the Royal Rumble, and I was really, really sick. No one woke up when I was really sick, when I had like food poisoning from Papa John's or something.
Oh shit! I remember that.
Maybe we'll just like sleep through everything. But yeah, I was just vomiting up. Yeah, black.
I mean, I slept through paramedics and my housemate falling down the stairs within the first 3 days of them living there, and then wondering why there was blood splatter on the wall.
Oh my god!
It wasn't my fault. They brought people.
Joel woke up in a trance, started launching people downstairs. Woke up the next morning, remembers nothing.
Well, if we want to get the fetish people in, feet.
Hey everybody, it's Saturday the 19th of September. I'm Joel Loynes here with Oliver Saville.
Hey.
Lauren Best.
Hi.
And Jacob Dickens.
Hello.
Coming up on this show is our rundown of that 40-minute advertisement from Sony about the PS5, Facebook's VR AR travesty, Twitch, Nintendo, and just about every video game we've been playing, because that's what video game podcasts are meant to do. Guys,
I just want to interject that this is some sort of monumental reunion that we're not acknowledging here, and I am the guy that has disrupted the reunion by bringing his girlfriend.
Girl.
Yeah, you brought your girlfriend. Jacob.
I think that we needed boobs up in this thing.
Gross.
It was a bit of a sausage fest.
I bring the femininity
Please
so
stop.
well.
Please stop.
So yes, this is basically the follow-up to the best podcast no one listened to, Pixel Shed.
I still listen to it every now and then, and I'm like,
it was that podcast that got us recognized in that one club.
Yeah,
in that
through our voices.
Yeah, in that one club, and also got us into heaps amount of trouble, slander and stuff.
I
wonder how she's doing.
Controversial.
No chance.
Have you met Joel?
Hey,
I got controversial bones in my body.
Just call me Eric Bischoff.
Oh
shit!
Controversy creating cash.
Jacob got
Get
it.
you onto the.
I read
Get
that
you
book.
onto the front.
It was shit.
Is that Eric Bischoff's
It's
official
Eric Bischoff's
book?
book? Yeah, it was in the New York Times bestseller and everything.
Wow, that's a fat lie.
Yeah. But no, I still listen to our old podcast sometimes, and I'm like, wow, I find myself really funny. Well, I really get my own sense of humor. It's great.
I don't know how long those will last on the internet.
Yeah.
Solely because I had to stop paying for SoundCloud Pro because it was £10 a month never being used.
I'm the same way with Spotfest. I'm like, I think they're probably all gone somewhere.
God, yeah.
I know I archived them when there was that scare in 2016 that SoundCloud was going to just shut down.
Ooh.
And then it never did. It's just
hanging on like a cockroach.
I don't know. My dad uses it on the regular to listen to remixes of Beatles songs.
I was going to say, isn't it all just now like mumble rappers or something?
Yeah, it is absolutely just. I don't know.
I don't know. SoundCloud page.
Check out my SoundCloud page. I went viral on Twitter once.
Ooh.
I know I didn't.
Oh wait, no.
Are we
I was like, Joel, are you dropping some hot beats?
Yeah, we could reboot the Pixel Shed as a mumble rap trio.
Purely just pure mumble rap, just nothing but mumble
About
rap.
Nothing but anthropomorphic horse women.
Yep.
That was a good time. That game is still not out. Did you know that?
Is it still hotly anticipated?
It's still hotly anticipated. not been released. I don't know if the anime got released instead. Which I guess is what Shenmue is doing now as well.
Oh god, yeah.
Instead of the 12-part video game series that he wanted to make, it's just fuck it, we'll just make an anime.
Oh, I thought you meant horse women.
Oh no, the Horsewomen game is going to totally come out and rinse me for at least £3.
It did take me about 30 seconds to remember what you were talking about. I was like, horse? What?
Isn't there that one app where there's horse men?
No, you're thinking of the
Sure,
other one about
probably is.
where you date the horse.
Yes.
Oh,
He has a man face and a horse body. What
Oh.
more would you want?
This is I can't remember what it was called, but it was a Pretty Horse Derby, I think is what it literally translates
yes.
to.
Which for some reason is always the first thing that pops into my mind when I reminisce about the old podcast.
That and the Black Ops, Infinite Warfare trailer.
David Bowie.
Yeah,
Oh,
David
horse-
Bowie cover.
Horse women and David Bowie.
David Bowie.
Not even David Bowie cover.
Oh.
Yeah.
Terrible thing. Should we get right into this news?
PS5.
Because there was a lot of shit went down this week.
Fat news.
Like fat news, and then like kind of hidden fat news, because I don't think anyone watched that Facebook event except for me.
I'm fully expecting
Yeah.
you to lead the conversation on that.
I
Yeah,
didn't know it happened until you sent your notes on it. So
Yeah, it gets a little bit terrifying here and there. Okay, PS5 actually got they stopped playing chicken. There is a date. There is a price. 449.99 and 359.99 for the disc and discless digital edition.
is this in pounds or dollars, please, Joel?
That's in pounds.
Thank
We
you.
are English.
And
So
when
it
is this
is
game
in
being
pounds.
released, Joel? This console being released. I'm not leading the conversation here. I can't remember.
November 12th.
Thank you.
So
Oh, it's in the notes.
yeah, it's
I'm
in the
reading
notes.
as we speak.
November 12th. Jacob, you managed to pre-order one of these things.
It was a great struggle because, I was supposed to be working at the same time. But
Good
yes,
job.
I did manage. I set a reminder on my phone the night before to kind of, at some point early in the morning, be like, you should probably look on websites to try and get one. And my phone just didn't remind me. So it was like 10:30, 11 in the morning. And then suddenly I was like, oh God, I need to have a look. So yeah, Amazon was all sold out. There was places like Shop 2 I couldn't access. There was even some really random websites that I'd never come across before, like the Game Collection. They didn't have any. AO.com didn't have any.
Yeah, I think the Game Collection and Shop 2 are under the same banner.
Ah, that makes sense.
I think basically whatever conglomerate bought and keeps keeps flooding Indeed with jobs to apply for. The Hut. They also bought Zavi, so it's like this massive conglomerate of the same thing, all wrestling with each other.
Zavi.
Yes,
Zavi.
Existing.
But it was Curry's PC World that ended up coming through for me in the end. This isn't a promotion for Curry's. We haven't been paid to say this, but yeah, I ended up being in like a virtual queue for about an hour. Got onto the website fully expecting to just be like, well, you're into the website, but there's still no PS5s here. But yeah,
which one did you go for in the end?
I went for the big disc boy because for the price difference that there is between the physical and digital editions, I feel like for however many years this generation's going to go on, I'm going to make that £100 back from selling physical games once I'm done with them. So
yeah, so this is like the weird, what's the word? Dichotomy. That sounds about right. a big word. That between the digital and like the disc version, the regular PS5 and the digital version, that it's a cheaper point of entry, but hey, those prices on games are going up by a tenner.
It's insane.
So they're going to be $69.99.
So that 360 price kind of called out to me at first, but you're right when you put into the pre-owned argument, and not just that, and buying pre-owned games
and
is
also
probably something I'll do at
swapping
some
and
point.
sharing. Like I know that I tend to like borrow a lot of games off people. We'll do like a little trade, and also I don't know what it is, but part of me just doesn't want to make that leap into going to fully digital yet. Like, I like to purchase something physically.
You still like to sniff them.
I like to sniff the games
smell.
packet.
Yeah.
So I think, I know initially there was, because obviously we're going to buy one between us, we were just kind of like, okay, well, which one should we get? And I think we were both kind of split down the middle at first.
You were not split down the middle. You made a snap decision
no,
against me.
I said that we'd make this decision together. I just had to wait for you to decide that I was right.
It's like this weird situation where like there is a cheaper barrier to entry for less wealthy people who can't justify spending 450 quid on a console, whereas like people could get in with the Xbox Series S or the PS5 digital at a lower price point, but then they're stuck trying to keep up with their friends and the what society demands of them.
This is as I think you mentioned the last time we did this, is the grandma walking into game and buying a console for her kid or for her grandchild.
There's that, but then there's also like the hey, I want to play with all my friends on PS5, so I bought the digital edition, but now I can't afford any of the games until a few months later when they get slashed down in price. Maybe if Sony decide that like their first party games like will, like Spider-Man got slashed down in price, but that wasn't until like 6 to 9 months later.
Yeah.
But then
so there's going to be a definite.
If we are going to talk about this later, you've got this whole collection of PS4 freebies as well.
If you subscribe to PS Plus.
Yeah, but I feel like over the holiday period, you can essentially gift the cheap PS5 with PS Plus, and you've already got a free collection of games.
Yeah, which I also think plays into a bigger problem that I have with these two consoles, which is what fucking games are there? Like, what games for a PS5 and an Xbox Series is there at the minute?
I hope you like Spider-Man.
Well, guess what?
I sure do.
Yes,
I can play that on my PS4.
You can.
Yeah. So
it seems like you're probably going to be able to still play a lot on the PS4.
So yeah, let's talk about this 40-minute advertisement, because this people were like, oh, this was a really good showing. Oh yes, this is very good, and this, that, and the other. And I was just like, this was basically confirmation that I don't need to buy one of these consoles for at least another year. At least. The only thing that I would probably be missing out on at this point will be next year anyway, when God of War Ragnarok launches, so should we go through this in order?
Sure.
They opened this show with Final Fantasy 16, which
I was very surprised about that, actually, and maybe other people aren't, but it was really funny because we weren't really paying attention. And we were watching this and we were like, it looks like a westernized Final Fantasy. This looks good. It's Square Enix. And then all of a sudden it was like Final Fantasy 16. And we were just like, oh.
Yeah, it didn't really tweak for me until I saw the like battle chocobos in the trailer. And I was like, oh shit, I guess it's Final Fantasy then.
So I made an incredibly poor hot take about 5 seconds into the trailer. You know, when you watch these trailers and you're shouting out what game you think this might be.
Yeah.
And I just saw some pretty generic medieval fantasy boys and shouted out, "Oh, is this Baldur's Gate 3?" So maybe we're getting some news on that on console, and I was pretty wrong there, and I'm going to own that mistake.
Yeah, so I'm just currently Googling who the director is for this game, because so I almost clocked on pretty much immediately that this was Final Fantasy 16.
Yeah.
Mostly because it looks a hell of a lot like same proportions and stuff like that to 15, but looks a hell of a lot like 14, 12, and similar and stuff like that.
Yeah,
and it turns out the the director of it is a main producer on Final Fantasy 14 anyway.
I did kind of, when I kind of looked at it a bit closer, I did think this looks like something that the 14 crew will have been working on.
Yeah. Although
I think the gameplay itself for the combat that we saw, there's obviously bones of Final Fantasy 15 in there as well, with chucking your sword about, teleporting to it, all that sort of jazz.
Yeah, I assume that it will be played not like exact, but I think it might play like between 50. If it doesn't pull from 7 Remake, then that'll be a shame.
It should.
And I don't know whether this.
Just speaking of 7 Remake, was probably the biggest surprise for me that we're getting this before anything on Remake Part 2.
I would suspect this has been in development, like I think after the fiasco with the fabulous Nova Crystallis games, which pretty much encompassed 13 to 15, excluding 14. But like all those games, I think after the massive fuck up for the last 2 generations of those games, I think that they're just now like, now we need to fire these things out. We need to ramp up development on 16. We need to basically erase 15 from people's minds, because 15 is not a good game at all. Not even like middling. It's just
to me, but I wouldn't go ahead and say it's amazing. It's great. It's like, no, it's okay.
It is more impressive from like a multimedia extravaganza, like. You need to watch this and this and this and this, and it all links in. But the game itself is a fucking travesty. In like, I appreciate like some of the character moments, between Noct and Probto, and like the combat and like boys will be boys sort of attitude to it. But good lord, playing that game is tough, to say the least.
I get you.
I've still not touched it because you repeatedly warned me off it. I know it got added to Game Pass, and I was pretty excited to give it a go.
It will sit on your hard. Yeah, it will sit on your hard drive, and you'll just regret playing it. I did. Like not like even to the point where I got through the first DLC, and I was just like, nah, I'm good.
I only to defend it just because it's one of the few things I've cosplayed. I cosplayed Ignis, and actually it led to my favorite cosplay picture I've ever taken, which is me as Ignis with someone who was dressed in a furry suit, also of Ignis. Kind of furry version of who I was cosplaying, and that was fantastic.
I like those characters a lot. I don't like the game that they're in, so I don't know. It's a weird. It's like this. It's this nasty divide between. I really want to hang out with all these guys, but
so I think based on Jacob's take, I now want to play it again.
I mean,
so he's overruling you at the moment.
You never know. I mean, you could find your own furry equivalent of the character you like.
Well, that's what I'm hoping.
So. I mean, if you get it on Steam, it has Steam Workshop support.
It does, yeah.
So I can become the fursuit.
Well, yeah, like people are modding. I beat that game with the Master Sword and Sephiroth's big fat sword. Yeah, no, Final Fantasy 16. I look forward to it. But it is part of the issue with the PS5 whole show thing was Asterisk also available on PC.
Yeah.
Which Sony are now trying to just like mind crater from everybody by uploading. Obviously, like their advertising department or marketing department is going to upload the version of the trailer without, also available on PC on it.
Of course.
But
so this was the same with Demon's Souls as well, wasn't it?
Yes. So Demon's Souls, now Sony have basically come out and said like, no, this was human error. But right, Square Enix have not said
not coming to PC, or they were not supposed to tell us it was coming to PC.
So this is the exact same messaging that they gave about Death Stranding.
Right.
Where it basically came out far too soon that like, hey, this is also coming to PC. Whatever deal Kojima and Sony had made wasn't, supposed to, and 505 Games wasn't supposed to come out just yet. The thing is that Sony owns the name to Demon's Souls. So it's no longer like a Namco thing. It is like an official Sony first party game.
I would presume we'll see it on PC in about a year's time after release. Then
probably, I would suspect you would start hear rumblings in the next after 6 months of release.
Unless we look at Bloodborne, in which case,
yeah, I think
happening at this point.
I would not. I don't know. Like I would suspect that that if they saw a drop, like if there was a gap between sales of the PS5 and stuff, it's just like, okay, let's make our money up with this software on the Epic Store, for goodwill and stuff like that. So yeah, no. So Final Fantasy 16, yeah. Wait and see. But Square Enix has basically said like, we've got no plans other than PS5, which basically means come talk to us later.
Yeah, I'll keep an eye out for news on it. It's kind of marginally piqued my interest, but yeah,
I'm all about melodramatic Final Fantasy, because Final Fantasy 14, like, as most of the story is, that middle ground between world-ending stuff and big adventure. But there is a lot of humor in that game that goes missed.
Yeah.
So like the game's legitimately very funny when it wants to be. But so hopefully 16 doesn't go full grimdark, because.
So I've not played any Final Fantasy games that are actually in the more traditional like high fantasy setting, so that's what's kind of piqued my interest a little bit. I've only played the 7s and the 13s and this wacky sci-fi.
Yeah. If you want to like, I don't know, like I wouldn't know, because 12 is basically the Phantom Menace but good. But has like, I'm getting very 12 vibes from that trailer from 16.
There's Gungans in it and everything.
Yeah, they're literally. There is big. There's big castles and laser beams
and swamps
and
Witcher 3 swamps.
Oh god!
If Ollie's willing to go kind of far back, then kind of, I don't really know.
I would say 4 is the best old one to go back to.
Is this 4/6?
No,
I always forget how it works, but I'm talking about
3 is 6.
Yes, that's right. Sorry.
No, Final Fantasy 4 with why can't I remember his name? Cedric, I want to say. The Dark Dragoon Warrior.
Okay.
I wanted to say
Dark
Colin.
Dragoon Warrior Cedric.
Colin.
The Dark Dragoon Warrior Colin. Yeah, no, I would say go back to 4, because 4 is like weirdly very weirdly contemporary. In the way that the story's structured and stuff. It's also not that long. And you don't need to play
a few of these Switch ports. just because it's a series that I feel like I need to say I've played to stop people shouting at me.
It would be good on handheld as well, I'm sure. It would be a nice kind of play in the hand.
Yeah. Four's my favourite of the old ones. I know people love 6.
Yeah, would be my recommendation, but that's not strictly entirely kind of high fantasy based.
No, that's got mechs and stuff in it, but also you get to suplex
if
a
they
train.
want to continue this entire vibe that they've set with that 16 trailer, but just drop a singular mech into it, I'm more than okay with that.
Yeah,
I would fully expect there to be a mech in 16. It's like the enemy is developing technology beyond our limits.
Maybe all steampunky.
We could put a necromancy vibe on it and have a flesh mech.
Ooh.
So other than
filthiest look for saying the word flesh mech.
It just too much like fleshlight.
just a giant bipedal fleshlight coming towards you, dripping just a little bit.
Not the meat tent.
And then also announced. So I think we need to preface this.
I was gonna say, like, if you're gonna, I think we need to definitely.
JK Rowling is a terrible human being and needs to have all her technology taken off her so that she can't contact the outside world anymore.
The timing of this was terrible. However, I think for the nature of what it is, we should probably just park the terrible human being.
Lauren really wants to talk about this game. So we'll get our abuse out the way in one big juicy chunk of hate.
Right. So the thing is that I have this is the Hogwarts Legacy. The long rumored open secret that Warner Brothers
was leaked about a year ago.
More than that.
Yeah. There's been like before that there was rumors that like, hey, there's people working on a Harry Potter open world RPG set in Hogwarts.
I remember the exact footage that was leaked was in that trailer.
Yeah.
Yes, exactly. And then it turns out, hey, there's actually legitimate truth to this, and here it is. Oh God, please leave us alone. We've no Batman for at least another 2 years. So Jesus, no Suicide Squad for another 2 years. Oh God. So yeah, no, this is from Avalanche, which you might know from Disney Infinity fame.
Oh boy!
Or
now you're talking
Take it away, Jacob.
Or Tak and the Power of Juju.
I'm aware of it. That's about it.
And many other tie-in video games for Disney. And then previously before that, like I think Tak was also like a cartoon on Nick. So they've got the chops for tie-in games, basically. Lauren, do you want to be positive before we slam JK Rowling and people on Twitter?
Need to accept that they've probably been sitting on this release for some time. However, she just becomes more and more of a terrible human being. So they kept waiting, and I think it got to the point where they're just gonna we've got to announce this at some point. We might as well just throw it out there and accept the abuse we're gonna get. But I want to just park that as someone who grew up loving Harry Potter. I'm taking the stance of I'm not gonna let this person ruin what it's given me as a franchise, so I'm still gonna enjoy it. I'm not gonna support it as a person, but I'm definitely not gonna lie that I am absolutely peeing my pants for a Harry Potter game.
Mean, if we want to go into whataboutism, I'll say now that I am a reader of H.P. Lovecraft based fiction. So probably don't put myself in a position to judge you.
Yes. So setting that aside for the next few minutes, Lauren.
Okay, so I'm excited because realistically, the last time we got a proper Harry Potter game, if you ignore the mobile app that was popular for about 3 weeks and then disappeared, we have PS2 Hagrid.
I presume it was the movie tie-ins, yeah.
So, and to be fair, the computer ones I remember playing with my cousin. We used to play on Boxing Day when we would visit them, and I remember them fondly. I remember getting the beans
I remember the Game Boy Color.
Yes, the one I could never get out of Gringotts.
That was
the turn-based RPG.
Little RPG, yeah.
I remember getting that for Christmas one year, and my mum wrapped it in the box that a snooker cue had come in for my dad. And I remember really wanting this game, and then I got this massive present, and it was my last present, and I still hadn't got this Harry Potter game, and I was like trying to pretend to look really excited about this massive present, but really my soul was destroyed because I still didn't have the Harry Potter game.
I also went through a similar traumatic experience. Yeah, my parents wrapped up like GameCube games in like big ass boxes just to troll me.
I'll never get over the Christmas where everyone was getting Nintendo like the DS, the original DS, because Nintendogs was out, and I remember specifically telling my mum not to get it because I was worried that it was expensive, so I didn't ask for it for Christmas, but I desperately wanted Nintendogs.
You reverse psychologied her.
And I remember unwrapping the game Nintendogs and watching my mum look at me with such love in her heart. And I was like so upset that I had to tell her, Mum, this doesn't work on my Game Boy Color. Like, I know I wanted this game, but I need the DS to do it. And she was like, oh, I thought it would just work. And I honestly like felt so bad for my mum. And the next present I unwrapped was a DS. And she played me.
These parents, man.
Honestly, great Christmas. But yeah, loved the Harry Potter one for Game Boy Color. Got stuck in Gringotts for forever. But I'm excited about this game. I'm very jazzed for open world.
Is it open world?
I think it's going to be like semi-open world. They showed that you can leave Hogwarts and stuff.
I'm not sure what this game actually is.
I bet it is a very large semi-open world RPG where you can explore and see the sights of Hogwarts.
My impression would be kind of, so they made it clear in the trailer you can go outside the world outside Hogwarts, which obviously everyone jumps on the open world vibe from that.
Yeah, it'll probably be fairly limited, but I think there'll still be a hefty chunk of exploration to do.
Well, they showed like some island or something, so I presume we'll have our Hogwarts map, and then we can fast travel to this island and explore there.
And I bet your ass there is a season pass with extra content coming soon.
And you bet I'm gonna buy it.
Go to Azkaban.
Or go to the street. What's it called?
Hogsmeade.
Yeah,
well, that was in the trailer.
Or Diagon Alley.
So maybe I bet that's where you create your character.
I'm just really excited for the fact that there's going to be like, I'm presuming there's going to be like obviously character creation, the sorting. You're going to have to go through like learn. I hope there's lessons. I want to go to potions and herbology and that kind of thing and discover the magical creatures.
Particularly for you, it's got potential to be just one of those cozy games.
Yes.
You just hang out in a nostalgic area.
I bet it is not too complicated because they will want to hit a bigger mass market as they possibly can.
Yeah, so they'll want the kiddie ones to get involved too.
It was hard to tell what the gameplay actually is. I presume a lot of that trailer was kind of in-engine stuff, but I don't know if any was out.
I bet it is slightly overhead RPG where you can press the left trigger to target where you want the spell to go.
Well, I just wonder about the wand combat because I think it was the last two Harry Potter games when they were doing the movie tie-ins, those games were Gears of War.
Yes.
They were on like 360 and stuff, weren't they?
Yeah,
they were just third-person cover shooters with wands.
Yeah, and then there was that one for the 6th movie, I think, where it was on Kinect.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Or it was better with Kinect or whatever it was. Yeah.
And basically you just had to shout the spells at the screen, but it never worked. So it just pick up whatever. I can understand why Harry Potter...
be good, But like the one thing that I was saying to Ollie when it came out is like I'm gonna have to try and like, because I'm a massive fan. Like I've read the book so many times. Like I know really stupid facts, like Ron Weasley took corned beef sandwiches on the Hogwarts Express in book 1 and he hates corned beef. He tells his mum every time. But there's gonna be some serious like lack of info, I think. Like I said to him, for example, I am gonna be mad if there is a Whomping Willow, because this is set in the 1800s and the Whomping Willow was not there until Remus Lupin joined.
I've told you not to expect these.
I know, but I think
canonical
I'm gonna be annoyed if there's a Whomping Willow.
Intricacies? Is that the word I'm looking for?
Because it wasn't there until Remus needed a place to hide.
And you can be annoyed and you can shout about it on Reddit, and I'm sure someone will give you 30 upvotes.
Yeah,
I absolutely guarantee they have their lore expert that is telling them what can't. Like these games, like Warner Brothers especially, has to tread thin ice with Harry Potter as it is, mostly just because of the social issues regarding it at the minute. The last thing they want to do is piss off the ice. You know, like so you know, you don't want any references to Harry Potter in the Hogwarts game.
No.
Which is odd.
Like I mean the tagline for the game is literally like explore the unwritten or something along those lines, which I feel is like a slight jab at JK Rowling, but
they have released an FAQ to advise that she has had little to no involvement in the game.
The singular question.
Yeah, in the FAQ. It's just like, what involvement does JK Rowling have? And it's basically hardly anything. However, obviously, she's still going to profit from it at some point. So I think that's concern.
So the current hot take on Twitter that was going around was, oh, you have to set aside JK Rowling and think about the developers and like don't not buy the game. No, you know, people are obviously going to boycott the game because, you know, JK Rowling. Like, it's just the current culture that we're in. But the activism side of buy the product so that the developers can benefit from it is a false and fabricated lie.
This is the exact same argument as continue to go to Spoons because the bartenders need to get paid.
Exactly. Like, these people are salaried and will get paid, and the freelancers and the contractors are most definitely going to get laid off anyway once the project is done. Like, you can't stop the wheels of the Warner Brothers machine turning. So if you are going to like have that stance of like, I'm going to buy the game despite all this, like, that's fine, whatever. But it is also the same bullshit that like Disney fans throw out about Captain Marvel and stuff like that, where it's like, you know, you're still perfectly valid as an LGBTQ plus ally or as an LGBTQ plus person, if you don't support these movies, because hey, Disney's fucking terrible. Warner Brothers is a giant fucking corporation. Like, these people aren't going to be these people won't be, you know, the people who are working at Avalanche will not be affected by you boycotting, you know, like you buying the game to support them. You are effectively just lining the pockets of JK Rowling, which if that is your if you have issues with JK Rowling and think that supporting by buying the game, you know, to support the devs is a logical way forward, you're lying to yourself. Just donate the money that you would you know, spend to support the developers who are salaried and already got paid and will never see any of the like the bonuses and stuff like that, because that's obviously going to management. Like, you know, fucking donate that money to charities or anything else, or maybe just ignore the game. Like, that's fine, you know. Like, Lauren, I can understand you wanting this game because you're a huge Harry Potter fan, and that's fine. But it's these people who are saying, like, you need to buy the game to support the developers. It's like, no, you don't. Like, the developers are already supported and paid.
Yeah, like, I think this is when it comes down to, like, when people try and bring, like, politics and all of this like anger and rage, which I get. It's totally valid to feel this way, but at the same time, like, it all boils down to like, you like what you like, and I'm not gonna not play a game because someone made me feel bad about it. But I'm
not here to yuck anyone's yum or anything along those lines.
You better not.
But like, it's these people on Twitter that are saying like, you need to buy the game to support the developers. It's like, no, you don't.
I need to buy a game because I want to play it.
Yeah,
I never buy a game to support a developer.
Like, don't these people already feel it's probably pretty shady and are just looking to justify it for themselves because they do want to play the game?
Yeah, but they don't want to admit that they want to buy the game.
But you know, and also, I forgot what else I was going to say then, but yeah, no, like, JK Rowling's a terrible human being, and Harry Potter has huge issues for me personally. You know, namely that she stole the look and idea of Harry Potter from another source material, and also, you know, the huge anti-Semitism in that series, with the goblins who are the bankers with big noses.
Oh, good lord! I think that's
as like, there are huge issues with Harry Potter as it is. Like, I'm not here to tell anyone not to buy the game, but don't try and falsify activism by supporting Warner Brothers. Like, buy the game, just don't like apply that layer of logic to it. Enjoy the game, don't apply that layer of logic to it. But then also, like, you know, just be considerate of your surroundings, sort of thing. Which obviously, like, people like Lauren are like, hey, JK Rowling, fuck off. Like, you know, the moment that someone, you know, the moment that Warner Brothers just decides it is worth just buying out Harry Potter will be better for everybody, I think. Instead of, because like, she still has complete control over the franchise. If she wants to pull the plug on it, she can.
Ollie made a good point, because like, obviously, using the H.P. Lovecraft example, he's dead now, so people don't give it as much hate. It's still just as fucking terrible, but he's dead now, so they just accept it as literature.
Oh yeah, like, and also, like, the whenever people talk about H.P. Lovecraft, it's like, okay, no, we have to talk about, you know, the social bubble that was at the time, and like, you put it in a thing. It's more of like, you know, hey, JK Rowling has decided that this is her hill to die on, and it is a weird hill to die on.
It's a molehill at best.
It's the doubling down.
It is also
this could have gone away with one tweet, but I can't be wrong.
Never.
Yeah, it's also like, hey, her pen name for the book that just came out is directly referencing the guy who invented gay conversion therapy.
It's like, just one big yikes after another.
Yeah, I was talking about this with Lauren the other day, and I believe that she's constantly said that she'd never heard of this person, and it's just a coincidence. But then
it's too much of a coincidence.
It's not what is it, Robert Galbraith?
It's
not a common name, and then when this comes to light, it's a big old yikes moment.
A hefty yikes.
I just want anyway, in case you direct any of this towards Lauren now, I just want to let you know that she is peeing at the moment, and she did try to slip off quietly, but I'm going to drop her in that.
Drop her in the pee.
I'll take this chance to hop in and say.
I can take the mic to the bathroom if you'd like.
No, thank you.
Yeah, no, I'll hop in and say that I'm quite looking forward to this as well. I've become a bit of a Potter fan over the past couple of years. As long as you can choose your house and you don't just get picked one, because I know that this whole sorting hat game thing is like, you know, it's based on your character and who you are and what you're like. But I'm like, if I don't get to choose and I get put in anything other than Slytherin, I will. I
wonder if you'll do some kind of questionnaire or something along those lines.
Basically, what you do on
based
Pottermore.
On that.
Yeah, because
I mean, or the example I was going to choose was Pokemon Mystery Dungeon. Where you do the questionnaire and it picks what Pokemon you are, but people will find a way to steer the results.
Min-max. min-max that shit. I totally wouldn't be surprised if it actually does have like Pottermore integration sort of thing.
Yeah.
Choose your Patronus. I'm just going to ask straight now because I need to know. What houses are you guys?
So Jacob just
I
said
just made it very clear.
I'm very sorry I had to dash for a wee.
It's no problem. I took the Pottermore quiz a couple of years ago, and just because I said I wanted to try out some hexes and shit, they were like, "Oh, you're a Slytherin, mate." So
Slytherin is the best way to be.
Slytherin. Both me and my girlfriend are Slytherin. So
I am also a Slytherin, and I'm dating a Hufflepuff.
Oh, come on.
Apparently so.
I took this quiz once ages ago, and I just decided that it was too long, so I just decided to go live with Hagrid in his little hut.
That's fair.
I think Joel's a Slytherin. He's way too cynical not to be.
Yeah. I'm also
pretty proud. Fuck all these wizards.
I'm also pretty proud of my Patronus in that I got a stallion.
Hello.
So my Patronus is a weasel.
No, what's its real name?
It's a pine marten.
There we go.
Which sounds a lot cuter than weasel, which is what it is.
Little pine marten.
I'm looking up what a pine marten is.
It's basically if Ollie was an animal.
It's like a weasel that lives in a tree or something.
Tree weasel.
Yeah, pretty accurate.
Treasel.
It's long and slinky, like Ollie.
Seems about
long
right.
boy.
And so the other stuff shown at this show, just to move on from Harry Potter, was I guess like I don't know if this was announced prior, the Five Nights at Freddy's thing.
I'd heard about it beforehand, but I didn't know it was going to be a PS5 thing.
That guy has had a very weird career. I will not lie.
Yeah.
Starting out as a ultra religious Christian educational game person, and then someone said, I think it was Jim Sterling said like, "Hey, this is creepy as shit." So he decided just to make Five Nights at Freddy's because his 3D modeling was very creepy, and now he's like this guy with barely any games design experience, outside the very fundamentals, basics and stuff, which is more than I can say for myself. But like, now he's got a PS5 game and a movie coming out, and
so I presume this isn't going to be the traditional Five Nights at Freddy's monitoring security cameras.
It looked like it was more like, hey, here's this huge environment for you to basically survive in.
I got the kind of Amnesia or like Alien Isolation kind of vibes of just hide, get jump scares,
and then hopefully someone figures out how to like Amnesia, like, hey, the monster will only kill you once per level or something like that. And then they break it. Deathloop got more of it shown. I'm now upset that Deathloop is not coming out this year because it looks exactly my type of shit.
I'm not really too familiar with Arcane's previous stuff.
I wasn't a huge fan of. So obviously, like, Arcane is split into two different studios, but they have very similar, like, obviously, like, hey, the Arcane games play like Arcane games.
Dishonored, right?
Dishonored and the Prey reboot.
Oh, right, yeah, that too.
And then the very cancelled Half-Life episode 4, which was supposed to focus on Adrian Shepard. Anyway, Deathloop looks great. I'm very, very, very excited for that game. Especially just like that sort of style of like that 60s blocky look to all the animations that they were showing is my type of shit. Doesn't look too serious. It looks like the game that you'll either master within an hour or never master at all.
Yeah, it looks like there's a lot of replay value in it, which I suppose goes in its favor.
Resident Evil 8 got more of it shown.
Not much though. I would
Not
say.
much.
It's just more of the same, really.
Yeah.
In terms of what they've shown before, but
Chris Redfield's on his heel turn.
Yeah.
He
went
still
to creative.
features.
Creative had nothing for him.
Looks like more of 7. which I haven't played, but I'm downloading as we speak because that got added to Game Pass. Cool. I've not played a lot of Resident Evil, but these first-person survival-y boys kind of intrigue me.
Resi 7 got really praised when it came out, so
yeah, Resi 7 was really good. From what I played, I never finished it, but yeah, I got past like the first half of that game. And he's actually like, people are like, oh, it's a big departure from Resident Evil, you know, first person, whatever. But it's not. It follows the exact same like layout of a Resident Evil game usually does, which is you know, murky, mysterious location, and then puzzles, and then suddenly like, oh, I'm actually underground and it's a secret laboratory or something along those lines, and then there's a big monster at the end.
I got the impression it might kind of scratch that cancelled Silent Hills itch.
Yeah, it was definitely preying on like the hype for that sort of thing. PT vibe of, you know, but it's a lot more Resident Evil than people give it credit for, which is Resident Evil kind of turned into an action sort of thing. It's always had like an action like element to it, but it's a lot more actiony than people actually think it is.
Well,
a lot of running.
I'm going to play that game, and then me and Joel might sit in chairs and talk about it.
Yeah, possibly. Yeah. I'm looking forward to actually finishing that game.
I don't want to be anywhere in the room while Ollie's playing that game.
Lauren, that game's not that scary.
You need to get the VR version.
You are vastly underestimating how much of a wimp I am.
We're going to splice in clips of you crying.
I will be crying.
Yeah, please do that.
I want you to do a full face of makeup before you cry for visual effects.
Good Lord. I'm very easily frightened. I startle very easily, and cheap jump scares, they get me good every time.
You get jump scared by the dog.
Just you walking into the kitchen, if you haven't announced your presence, you will scare me.
The other stuff shown is was more focused on like Spider-Man Miles Morales.
Looked good.
Yeah, that looks like a Spider-Man.
Looks like more of Spider-Man.
Go web go.
So I have not seen most of that game other than like you swinging around the city, Ollie. How much like that Spider-Man game is this?
It's identical.
I would give it a good like 80%, 85% maybe.
It's some new suit powers for Miles. Other than that, the animations look completely lifted from these PS4 Spider-Man.
Okay.
The combat looks identical. There'll be a few more animations, a few more like suit powers, and
because like Miles's powers differ from Peter's quite considerably. I bet there is a lot more.
It looks like he has all of the same powers, and then just a few more.
Some electric.
Because he's got his instead of like in the comics he's got like his invisibility and stuff, but he's also got his
he has the electric
poison
webs
touch
as well.
Yeah, he's also got like his poison touch and stuff.
Yeah, but the electric stuff is kind of already in the game as one of the suit powers or one of the upgrades. Okay. So
I guess you just have that as from the start instead of having to upgrade
so, or
to
they
it.
might tweak it a little bit and I don't know, do more.
Yeah, they'll
damage
flesh it out a bit.
But I'm not saying any of this is criticism because I played the shit out of that game,
really,
and
really
I'm perfectly happy to have more.
This was basically when we had the conversation a few months ago. Was like, hey, no, this will be the game that gets me to buy a PS5. I think
Absolutely,
is what you said.
I know it's
but now it's coming to PS4.
Now, but I'll still look at it with the idea that I'm going to get a PS5 and I'm going to have something to play on it.
Yeah,
that at least is enhanced in some way.
So I was
whatever comes after that.
Yeah, I was reading through basically like the PlayStation blog and stuff like that of like, hey, what's actually, and it's the PS5 version of Spider-Man has got a full proper upgrade to it. It's not just the PS4 game enhanced. It's like actually using, you know, the SSD and stuff like that to mitigate loading times and enhance what the city and the characters actually look like. The other thing that got like not a surprise announcement, but just sort of dropped out of nowhere was Devil May Cry 5 Special Edition.
Hell yeah.
Which has got ray tracing in it.
It's somehow one of the games I missed from last generation that I was really looking forward to, but just for whatever reason never played it. So now I'm pretty much treating that like a launch title for me when I get my PS5.
Yeah, it sat on my Steam library untouched. I really liked 3 and 4. I wouldn't recommend, going back to for people who haven't played Devil May Cry.
Definitely not 2.
Definitely not 2. 1 is a weird game where it's still got its Resident Evil roots still in it with
the fixed cameras
and like exploring and stuff. So
I played DMC.
I bought it but never played it.
Is that Is that a correct game to have played?
Not for DMC5. DMC5 picks up pretty much from 4.
Yeah. They've kind of swept DMC under the rug.
Yeah, because the fans didn't like it. So this is more of like this basically got, when it got announced, it was like a standing ovation of like, hey, Nero's back. And it was just normal. It's just like, oh, you guys like Nero now? I guess DMC Dante was that much of a shitbag that
but we got Virgil now.
Got Virgil. So this special edition is following suit from like what DMC4's special edition was, which is like just throw all the playable characters in.
Yeah.
just make everything playable. It's fine. They'll buy it again, and sure enough,
people will.
So I looked away, and then I looked back, and then it turns out that was Demon's Souls.
Yes.
Being played. Hey, I guess like the gameplay will be pretty much the same because that's what Bluepoint do. Which is they did the same with that Shadow of the Colossus remake.
Yeah.
Hey, I think that Demon's Souls remake looks really bad.
I'm
not gameplay wise, style wise.
I'm very much in two minds about it because I've never been the biggest Souls fan really. The only one I've really liked has been Bloodborne, and I think weirdly enough, I think I'm kind of on the flip side to you, Joel, and that I think the game itself looks impressive, but the actual what you're doing in the game just doesn't look that fun. You're just kind of walking around, bonk a zombie, walk around, stab another one, I guess. It's just so sluggish. And I'm
so this was very clearly like, this is our demo, this is the slice, we need to get, like, hey, guess what? Watching Souls games being played is not always the most entertaining thing. And Demons is Souls, because there's an apostrophe in there. Demons is Souls are very, they're slow, sluggish games. Like, that's what they're designed to be. But this demo was not a good representation of what made Demons as Souls, why everyone then went and bought Dark Souls and followed that, and why that series is what it is now.
The kind of sizzle reel that they showed at the end of the trailer, where it showed off like all these big kind of set piece moments, kind of dragged me in a little bit more. So I'm like, I don't know, maybe. But
I bet that game.
I thought it looked pretty cool. I'm gonna chime in. I've just got on the Souls train. The Soul train.
The Soul.
Yeah.
I got Dark Souls on release day, the original Dark Souls, and I played that game for half an hour, and then I didn't touch it again for 7 years, 6 years. I don't,
sounds about right.
I played Bloodborne this year, and I've been playing Dark Souls. I've not finished either of them, but it's finally clicked for me. I've been really enjoying those games, and I look at Demon's Souls and I think, yeah, this looks like more of the same. So I've never touched Demon's Souls at all. but it looks kind of pretty now. And that's all I really want. That's all I'm really expecting from Elden Ring when we hear more about that in 7 years' time.
So this my problem with this Demon's Souls remake isn't that it's the same problem I had with the Shadow of the Colossus remake as well from Bluepoint, which is that it's lost all that soul and style that made those games what they were.
That kind of weird janky charm.
That weird janky charm, but like Demon's Soul had this like ethereal like mist and murkiness to it all, and it was not clean looking. It didn't look. It looked like so. This remake looks on the opposite end of what I think of Demon's Souls, which is, Demon's Souls on PS3 looked like a fake video game, like night destroying monsters, and then it just comes up in big text, "You died."
You died.
Like it's what you would expect on like an American sitcom or something.
That's true.
And then this looks exactly like what an American sitcom would do now for a fake video game. I looked away and I was like, are they bringing back Deep Down? That PS4 game that PS4 game that just never happened.
I thought that was going to be the follow-up to Dragon's Dogma.
Yeah. But that, so I don't know, like that Shadow, like Bluepoint have done good HD remasters before. The Metal Gear Solid triple pack on PS3 and Xbox 360 was really fucking good, and that Vita version also really fucking good. Like it's the best way to play two of the best Metal Gear games plus Metal Gear Solid 2. But this just sucks all the what enticed me into finding out what the fuck Demon's Souls was back in 2009, 2010.
I think
where
if
I
someone
was
that's already played it, then you probably do have a different impression of it if you have some sort of affinity for the original game.
I didn't play Demon's Souls until 2013, 2014, when I was already at uni. I watched a lot of walkthroughs of people playing it from Japan and being like, holy shit, this looks incredible, like the giant iron golem with its giant shield and stuff, and it's misty, and there's this weirdness to everything. This just looks too clean. It looks too polished in a way that I kind of hope Elden Ring doesn't look like this. I hope Elden Ring has that grottiness to it.
I'm not sure it will.
Why do I feel like Elden Ring is really leaning into the George R.R. Martin thing of just disappearing?
I wouldn't. That game will suddenly like get a trailer, and then it'll be like the Cyberpunk thing where people just don't think it's ever happening, and then suddenly it'll be like, and the pre-orders are open for Cyberpunk.
We're doing things this whole time.
Was it
2
exactly years since the teaser? Is it longer than that?
Yeah, but like also bearing in mind, like between that they've also had Sekiro.
Yeah.
And then whatever ports and remasters they've had to do since then. So I think From Software, like this was the same thing that happened with Bloodborne, where no one saw anything of Bloodborne except for like shaky cam footage at E3 for a whole year, and we were like, holy shit, this looks incredible, and then suddenly it was like, and it's available.
It's just the way they do things, I guess.
Yeah, so Demon's Souls, Spider-Man, DMC5, Astro's Playroom, Destruction All-Stars, and Sackboy: A Big Adventure, plus Fortnite are all going to be at launch.
Gotta get the Fortnite in there.
I totally forgot about Burlap Mario.
Did you know that like Little Big Planet is now 12 years old? I remember playing that game on PS3 with my friend back in high school and being like, this controls like shit.
But it's all we got.
But well, I didn't have a PS3, so I was just like, I'm glad I don't have a PS3 because this is it. I had my Wii and my 360, and I was more than happy to waggle and shoot.
Oh, yeah.
I think a lot of teenage boys were happy to waggle and shoot, to be honest.
Oh shit! But then so I'm trying to get riled up here because this Sony event was a fucking mess, like news-wise.
Yeah, it was shit all.
Well, it wasn't like whatever. It's a 40-minute advertisement, whatever. But it is the confusion and mess that Sony have like generated for themselves of like what's coming to where. Why did you say this is coming to PC when it's not? Why does the Final Fantasy trailer no longer have the also coming to PC? Why is Square Enix now shut up? Also, why are the 3 games that you are touting as reasons to get your next console also launching on PS4 when you said that you care about generations and there will be a gap? Like Horizon 2 also coming to PS4. I don't know. I guess that's using the same engine and stuff like that. So,
and that was the big one from their last show, wasn't it? So,
yeah, this was like, here's the reason you need to get a PS5 is Horizon 2, and it's just like, actually, no, you can.
The first Horizon was a super pretty game as well. When I run that, my PS4 Pro just sounds like it's flying off into space. So,
well,
I don't know
at
how
least
much more it's going to be pushed. I don't know if that makes me a bit less confident for the PS5 version.
I guess you at least you can launch it because the people on PC weren't able to launch it for a while there. That PC port was apparently a mess.
I kept well away from the PC version. I kept well away from the PS4 version, to be honest, from a certain point in the campaign. But that's a rant for another time.
Yeah. So let's move away from Sony. Unless there's anything else to buy, Sony. Let's go to Nintendo.
There was one more big one that you missed there, Joel.
Oh, the God of War Ragnarok logo.
The God of War title screen.
And some.
It was really funny actually because we were sitting there and we were like, "Oh, what's the big one going to be?" And before anything was on screen, Ollie went, "God of War," and then all of a sudden the horns came, and Ollie was like, "Holy shit, it's God of War!"
No, I said God of War because I saw snow.
Ah, yes.
And I was correct.
I am both a little surprised it's coming out in 2021.
Yeah.
But then I remembered like that other than Cory Balrog tweeting constantly and getting on my nerves, like I guess they've been working on like the sequel for this entire time. Pretty because
the first one came out,
because like what else does Santa Monica Studios actually make? I liked that God of War.
Same. I think it was very good.
Absolutely adored that God of War. I've only just stopped playing it.
You got that it ticks all the Ollie boxes.
It ticked every box.
It even ticked the restart 3 times box.
It sure did.
That takes a special game to do that.
Yeah. So yeah, that was Sony. There's not much to talk about God of War other than hey, we're excited for it.
Yeah.
Before we get into the Facebook stuff, I want to talk about the Nintendo stuff because it's shorter.
The little direct they did. What was it?
Direct Mini.
Yeah.
And it was very clear that the Monster Hunter Direct was supposed to be its own separate thing because I watched that live stream and they played the full Monster Hunter trailer in full twice.
Oh.
Both in the Nintendo Mini Direct and also in the Monster Hunter. Yeah, like as if it was meant to just be 2 separate individual videos. So yeah, no, they so just before this Direct, a guy who is reputable about Capcom leaks basically said, "Yep, there's a Monster Hunter game coming for Switch. It's called Monster Hunter Rise," and turns out he was right. Monster Hunter Rise is looks a lot like a lower fidelity world.
A bit like Generations was when they brought that to the Switch as well.
So because Generations was like a straight port of that 3DS game. This looks like this is running on the Resident Evil engine, just at a lower quality, basically. So monsters don't have all the details on the fur and stuff.
You can ride dogs.
You can ride dogs.
You got a little wolf bud.
Little wolf bud. You can bring either 2 palicos or a wolf and a palico, or 2 wolves. There's that seamless world that they introduced that seamless level. Like you're not loading into
different areas.
Each zone. Yeah, which was the problem going back to like Generations. Was like, oh shit, I gotta fucking hit this loading screen before I can continue. And even though it was relatively quick, it's just still like, oh no, I can't go back to this. So they've got that seamless world, and then they've so like it seems to be more focused on. Is there someone's ice cream man coming?
There is.
Hello, that's our ice cream.
We've just been
van.
sat here wondering if you're picking that up.
I work from home, and my customers, when I ring them, are like, "Oh, get me a Mr. Whippy," and it does get old very quickly.
This guy I think he lives in his van. He just drives around constantly, all day,
with an ice cream in his mouth.
He drives and eats the ice cream like Homer in the Moo Moo.
He's more Mr. Whippy than man now.
He is Mr. Whippy.
Yeah.
His toes have turned into flakes.
Oh.
His legs are made of cone wafer.
His head. He
Coming
cries
soon to Resident Evil 8.
Mr. Whippy's Revenge.
He cries raspberry sauce when he kills someone. Yeah, no, the one thing that they've introduced like into this, other than the dog, is I guess that Spider-Man across the world sort of thing, where you can throw
a grappling hook,
but you can just sort of swing it anywhere and it doesn't matter. So they seem to be going for more verticality than even Monster Hunter World did.
It's kind of the PS1 Spider-Man swing from the clouds mechanic.
Yeah, which I'm fine with. Also, like, seems to be taking notes from Breath of the Wild of just make every surface climbable. We don't need to have designated areas anymore. That's coming next year in March 2021, which is great, which pretty much tracks for Monster Hunter games. I thought...
I'm sorry, he's back.
I thought that was the Harry Potter music playing for
JK Rowling. Teddy Bear Picnic.
JK Rowling's coming to be a turf.
we get Teddy Bear Picnic and we get Forever Blowing Bubbles.
Yeah.
All day long.
Yeah. Anyway, Monster Hunter on Switch, it appeals to me more because
I'm gonna play the shit out of that game. Like, I played World for 20 hours over the course of one weekend and
never touched it. You and Joel were gonna play it.
Yeah, but I
still remember that first weekend where it came out, and me and Joel, I literally brought my PS4 to your house.
Yeah, I dragged a giant TV in front of you. It was just like, here you go.
That was great.
That was great fun. But going back to like
I sat there and watched you guys play and thought, I'm gonna buy this game, and I did 2 years later.
Yeah, and then the PC version was like, I went into it and they've added all like this. Let's get you into Iceborne really quickly. Yeah. So the armor that you get right at the start of the game basically just breaks everything, and it ruins like what? Oh my god!
Please shut the window, please.
He really wants you to buy something.
It is freezing outside. Who does he think's going to buy ice cream?
It's actually pretty warm here.
Oh, it's very windy.
It's about
to get
warmer now that we're sealed in this toasty room with no ventilation.
Gonna get sweaty again.
The other Monster Hunter thing was Stories 2.
Looked really cool.
Did anyone play that Stories, the first one?
I wasn't even aware it existed until this Direct, and then it was like, it's number 2. I was like, there was a number 1?
Yeah, I don't know. I know barely anything about it other than it was like Monster Hunter Light, so it's more story focused. Yeah. Less of the Monster Hunter. And then they just sort of like went, hey, and this and this is out now. See ya. Ori 2.
Yeah, Will of the Wisps.
It looks cute.
I want to play both of those. I realised they're on Game Pass, so I'll probably play both of those.
I'm very much in the same boat. I always see Ori and the Blind Forest and Will of the Wisps, and I'm like, I will get around to playing those someday.
Yeah,
I never have.
No. The Long Dark, I've not played that, but does not appeal to me at all.
It's not like my kind of
survival, first-person, roguelike, like, hey, guess what? You can't launch that sort of stuff when Hades launches at the same time.
So
which
I know you're
go for it.
I know you're like really into the Hades side of things, and I've had my eye on it for at least a few months now, since like Game of the Year lists came out last year. And a lot of people placed it pretty high, even though it's like early access, obviously, and it was only people.
Yeah, now it's done.
Now it's done, and so I mean, I was already spending like 50 quid this month that I wasn't planning on spending on games with the Mario All Stars collection, and then they're just like, yes. Hades is out now as well, and I'm like, I don't have the money, I want to buy it.
Yeah, but the reason I'm not buying it on the Switch just yet is that there's no cross saves for a few months.
I guess that's a problem for you, yeah.
Yeah, so I don't want to restart that whole thing over again. But so yeah, that game came out in version 1. They did a load of patches. It was like 5 gigs or something. Guess what? Hades is really, really good. Everyone should play it. There's I even published a review, a written review.
I read your review, and I'm gonna buy that game. You're selling copies, Joel.
Well, cool. You've still got a job, so you can afford it.
Well,
let's not get into that on the
air. PGA Tour, no one gives a shit. Good. Sniper Elite 4, no one gives a shit. Okay, so that Balan Wonderland,
nice. You mean?
I'm looking at your notes, Joel. Brackets looks terrible.
It looks fucking awful. I know it's months away, but it's a Square Enix game. It looks fucking terrible.
It made me laugh.
I've not seen this yet. I'm looking it up as we speak.
You know the game is going to be bad when the trailer is sub 15 frames a second while it's being played. Like, this is your example, and it looks terrible.
It looks like something that would have come out on GameCube.
Yeah.
And I love GameCube, but like graphically,
it looks worse. It looks like those really shitty shovelware games on Wii, the Gingerbread Man game. Ninja Man, that was it.
Yeah.
You just turned into a sheep.
I was gonna say the sheep suit was the part that made me pop. I'm gonna be honest. Other than that, I was like, nah.
I'm gonna give that a miss.
Yeah. Speaking of popping, Disgaea 6. I like Disgaea 5 a whole bunch.
Me, I'm afraid.
It's strategy RPG stuff with big numbers and lots of grinding. I like all the NIS games, even if I never finish any of them. They are a hell of a lot of fun.
I noticed because I started playing Danganronpa last week. That's NIS or NIS.
Yeah, that publisher and the developer has a certain style to it that appeals to me. Chaotic anime.
Yeah.
Rune Factory 5. Anybody?
Not really.
I've been told that I would have enjoyed. I think. Lauren, you like Stardew Valley.
Yeah.
I love Stardew Valley. I have put so many hours of my time into Stardew Valley.
Rune Factory is basically just Stardew Valley, but anime.
Yeah.
Ooh, I'm interested straight away.
Yeah, bit Stardew Valley, bit Harvest Moony.
Yeah,
I love Harvest Moon.
Because it was a straight spin-off of Harvest Moon. It's the same arm.
If I can grow my plants and have animals and find myself a wife/husband, I'm in.
And do pointless busy work.
I love pointless busy work. I love doing electronic chores. It distracts me from the real life chores I ignore.
Yeah, the trailer has all of that like as bullet points of like go fishing, grow your crops, go adventuring,
wife/husband,
get married, yeah.
and that was like the final one was like and get married.
Woo!
And it was just like you know exactly who your audience is for in Factory 5.
It's me.
And then the last one that the last one on this list that I have is Romero Games' Empire of Sin, which I've been looking forward to for quite a bit. Strategy like RPG sort of thing, but set in with mobsters.
Al Capone.
Yeah, Al Capone and stuff like that. That's so Romero Games is weird as fuck because other than like Sigil, that Doom WOD that John Romero put out, they haven't really done much. I don't know what else they've done. I bought a T-shirt from them. It said Deathmatch on it. I was like, that'll do.
Thanks.
Thanks, John Romero. I was like looking around it to see if any of his luxurious locks had like fallen into the packaging and stuff like that.
About mentioning them, being like, was there any hair in there? But I was like, no, that's too weird. I kind of had it anyway.
Yeah. I'm looking forward to that game. That game looks great. I'm way into my top-down isometric sort of stuff at the minute. So
interesting, yeah.
Right. We have to talk about Facebook because they did video game stuff, but then also, hey, guess what? They're doing weird stuff with science.
What are you Zuckerberg?
I'm just scanning your notes.
And the bottom bullet point, I want to die.
Are you okay?
Yeah. Joel,
no.
You're the only one who watched this. So do you want
to? So watching what?
We're not going into the tree story. We're not doing it.
So watching this is, I wouldn't say like I watched it the entirety of the thing because it was several talks like strung out throughout the day. I just sort of like gleamed over like some of the video and then also some of the reviews and also a lot of tweets about like what the scientists were doing at Facebook. Because they're talking and no one is like putting this into layman's terms. So that's what I was trying to sort of figure out. But let's do all the, the video game stuff first. October 13th, £299, or $299, I think. Quest 2, Oculus Quest 2, which is their all-in-one VR headset that they released a couple years ago. Which runs Android under the hood. This one still supports all the stuff that the Quest 1 did, but is much cheaper. There's a 64 gig one and a 256 gig one. But this one to basically cut down on costs removes a few of like the bits and pieces that were on the first Quest that like made it a little bit more pleasurable for people. So like instead of a little lever underneath to adjust the lenses, there's like a physical, you have to physically grab the two lenses on the inside of the helmet and pull them together to match your eyes, or push them apart. There's like 3 settings. It still supports the link. So this was an update, I think, sometime last year. Basically like, hey, the Oculus Quest will mirror what's on your computer like an Oculus Rift.
Oh, yeah.
But you need this very specific type of USB-C cable to go in. So guess what? Facebook are selling a link cable at $80.
Yeah.
But I was watching some reviews and stuff like that, and like people are saying like, hey, it's a lot cheaper, it's a lot better than before. The colors on the inside are a lot better, whatever. VR interests me from afar because I think augmented reality is the thing that's going to take over the world very slowly. We're gonna get into that in a second. But so then they also said like, and we're no longer supporting. We're basically stopping production and stuff of the Rift. So there's no more Oculus Rift. There is only
apologize
Quest.
for any background crinkling. I've had to pop a Tums for my current belly.
It's a Tums festival, Ollie.
What you need to do is this news is making him sick.
Yes. He's read my notes and now his belly worries. So yes. So they're no longer making Rift and Rift S. That's it. There's only going to be Quest 2 and whatever other headset they probably develop at some point. So there's no more dedicated, just straight up PC hardware, which this puts a lot of pressure on people who want to use the Quest 2 for PC gaming. You're giggling like kids at the back of the classroom.
The ice cream man is still going.
You can hear him through the closed window.
Come buy an ice cream. Buy an ice cream.
That's gonna haunt me forever.
Buy our ice cream. It'll make you scream.
I feel like it's a friend of the Yorkshire pudding man, but you know.
We can't get into these in-jokes on the air.
Please
Come
move on.
Please move on
now.
Because Thursday morning, I want to say between 1 and 2 a.m., I was basically lying in bed scared of reading Twitter as I was like looking at these things. That's also the thing. Before we move on to like the scary stuff, there's a new Myst remake coming from I can't remember what the studio's called, but the original Myst the original Myst studio, Cyan, is remaking Myst for VR. It's on Steam now. And also Ubisoft announced a new Splinter Cell game.
No, they didn't.
Cool.
It's a VR Splinter Cell game. I bet you're gonna do some like look around in green.
Yeah, they're gonna find me like doing the split between two buildings.
You can pull down your little VR goggles and it'll make that sound. The Splinter Cell
exactly.
sound.
It's totally gonna make that. They're totally gonna do that. It's gonna be great, right?
At this point, I just kind of wish Ubisoft would just have Sam Fisher I know he'll probably show up in a Ghost Recon or a Rainbow Six.
He's
already happening. And just kill him. Just kill him off. I'm done.
He's
fed up.
He's the new character in Rainbow Six Siege.
Yeah, just execute him. Just 5 minutes into the game, just kill off Sam Fisher.
I mean, it's a multiplayer game, so that can happen frequently.
I'm talking story. I want a canonical cutscene, point blank.
Never gonna happen.
Sam Fisher just to tell us you're not getting that Splinter Cell game. He's dead.
He sells whatever he's attached to. He can't do that.
Then why is there not a fucking Splinter Cell game?
Because making a full Splinter Cell game is just Watch Dogs Legion.
Hey.
Like you can't just make a Splinter Cell game in 2020 anymore. It has to be open world and stuff like that. And also, if you want a good open world stealth game, just go play Metal Gear Solid 5. But
Hey.
Spat on me.
I chortled too much.
Just all over my arm.
Jaunty tune.
So should we talk about why I was scared?
Yes.
So, Facebook are getting Facebook's augmented reality stuff. So, they are making they're making AR glasses, which is a thing that has all of Silicon Valley and all these major tech companies have tried to do for years. You'll remember Google Glass?
Yeah.
I certainly do.
Held some in my hands.
Ugh.
Yeah. We had some Google Glasses.
Got your fingerprints on file now, Jacob.
Years ago.
Yeah, so Google have basically given up on that, I think, because they realized, like, oh, we make the operating system that most of the world uses anyway. And also we have the most used web browser, so we'll just spy on them that way. That's fine. That's okay. We're done with wearables and this, that, and the other. Facebook, meanwhile, is a company that I would not trust with my I use Facebook as Facebook is basically like, if I could get rid of it, I would. But I rely on it too much for work and stuff like that.
I'm absolutely in the same boat. I'm like, social media wise, I don't really do social media, but I have Facebook because I need it. It's a necessity.
It's that's the weird relationship a lot of people have with Facebook. Is I am jealous of the people that can just press delete on their account. But like, hey, Instagram is too much of an importance. WhatsApp is too much of an importance. Like, you can't escape Facebook anymore. Like, that's just a done deal. Like Messenger, like I would lose touch with a lot of people if I didn't have Messenger. However, Facebook is a very, very dangerous company, politically and socially. There are lots of, and also for their workers, like their employees, like the people that they have monitoring the bad stuff that gets uploaded to Facebook, and like, hey, these people have PTSD for life now. Oh well, we'll just rotate them into another department and hope for the best. Facebook are developing AR glasses, which are going to have a potentially one-to-one scan of the whole world built in.
Skynet.
They will always, so the current test units that are only available to Facebook employees will be recording everything that they see and sending it back to Facebook's data centers to get blurred and stuff like that. So the Oculus has just had to stop selling Quest 2s in Germany because of privacy concerns, because the Oculus devices will require a Facebook login from 2023, which the EU is basically saying, like, no, you can't do that. Like, you're not allowed. So they just stopped selling them in Germany because they can. But like, there's massive privacy concerns about these glasses. Like, hey, I can't invite you into my house because I don't want my face on Facebook in 2025 when these probably launch. But I can't turn off the video recording because they had a list of like what this Project Aria and what like Facebook's like VR and AR studio like divisions are like got to abide by, like a manifesto almost. And number 4 was like humans, like putting humans first at number 4. And it's like, do you guys not see the issue with this?
I guess we should consider the humans at some point.
We should slip that one in.
I mean, Mark Zuckerberg looks like someone squeezed meat into a sausage tube. So, but like, who would give room for Facebook to do this, and why? Why would anybody at Facebook think this is a good time to start recording people? And I don't know. We'll just like, where, obviously, like, the UK is probably going to lose GDPR protections at some point. But so where's the right to withdrawal on, like, I don't want my face or my data.
Yeah.
I don't want my house being mapped. Like, Google Maps does not come into my house and map everything out. It just maps the street. I can't stop that. That's satellites. That is a van that came through in 2009.
I think the answer is in Microsoft Flight Simulator, where we just replace it with office blocks or rock formations.
Oh, so we just start feeding Facebook wrong data.
Yeah.
Yes.
like the guy who
them rocks.
Like the guy who accidentally typed in 2000 into a story of flats when he was supposed to write 2 for some reason. And that's why there's these massive obelisks rising in because it's pulling from some data table that it just doesn't know what to do with it. So it's just like, okay, this building's 2,000 stories tall, I guess. So yeah, no, I am hugely scared of like what Facebook have got planned. Mostly also because of what they're going to try to do with like these AR glasses, which is whoa. Whose microphone?
Laura just dropped the microphone.
Because Ollie was about to sneeze at it, so I tried to move it. And then
it away from my face.
I did it for the good of the ears.
Sorry.
Good of the ears.
Now, you know I can because you startled me too much.
You know I can cut these out.
It's an edited podcast.
It's an edited podcast. I have your voices downloaded.
It was more for the protection of your ears.
Yeah.
Just as bad as
Ollie
Facebook
was going to do a big hachu.
Speaking of audio, these AR glasses will be able to like do gaze-based audio beaming, is what they're calling it.
The fuck does that mean?
So if you're in like a noisy bar, you can look at someone and the microphones inside the glasses will be able to focus on that person.
It's literally,
and so you'll be able to hear them better.
It's Mission Impossible shit.
This sounds horrifying.
Do you want to know what's worse? They're now currently trying to train people in VR to use a 6th finger so that they're ready for AR.
Ew, what?
So an invisible 6th finger. So instead of like, you know, like Minority Report where they're like tapping on things and, you know, with their regular 10 fingers.
Yes.
That looks weird in person. If you're like swiping across in the street. So instead of that, they're just going to train people to basically use a invisible 6th finger to do gestures and stuff with their hands so that they don't need to use their regular appendages.
Wow.
This is a nightmare.
The whole thing is such a weird fucking nightmare of like lack of self-awareness of what Facebook is currently going through.
I feel like this explains a lot of why every sentence in the Facebook notes that you've sent us starts with "What the fuck?"
What the fuck?
There are people out there writing this up, and it will make you also say "What the fuck?" because it's terrifying. The stuff that they were announcing and like saying like what we're working on is awful, and they're excited about it, and they're just completely lack of self-awareness because they know no one can touch them. Because I don't know. Like, if Trump gets in November again, like, it's partially because of Facebook. Like, Facebook is an issue. Like, Twitter certainly has its issues and stuff like that, but at least they're not developing, like, 6th fingers and, like, gaze-based audio beaming.
I feel like this is just...
like, did you fucking swear at me with your 6th finger?
Yeah. Like, VR and AR
is... in with your gaze-based audio.
Is this just the next... Is this the next James Bond villain? 6th finger?
Mark Zuckerberg.
I thought you were just going to say Zuckerberg, yeah.
He basically is turning into that as well, because, like, he gets his hair cut like Julius Caesar. That's why he's got that weird haircut, because he admires... He's obsessed with Julius Caesar.
It's that one photo you sent us of him on a surfboard with clothes and a face of sun cream. It haunts me.
He's the Mr. Whippy man.
Oh my god, he's driving round. He's listening to his audio-based ice cream van.
his oh shit, I had something for this.
Gaze-based audio creaming.
Oh.
There you go. You're welcome.
Fuck. Moving on. And then the last news in terrible corporations, Twitch are testing mid-roll ads for out of the streamer's control.
Do explain.
Which
so I don't do Twitch anymore.
Oh right, okay. So you know how if you're a streamer or watching streams, because Amazon owns Twitch now, there is an advert usually at the beginning of the stream, and when you load up a new stream and stuff like that, they'll play an ad usually for an Amazon product of some sort. They are now basically out of the streamer's control, which these ads can basically roll midstream anyway. If the streamer gets up for a break, they can say okay, I want to make some money here. Boop, done. No, these ones are out of streamer's control. These will just play at random.
They just throw it up when they please.
Yeah, so they're testing it across the board. I don't know if it's specific users and stuff like that, but so there was a guy watching the PS5 stream, getting very excited about Demon's Souls or whatever, and the ad started playing during the advert.
You got a lovely advert for Amazon's The Boys or something like that.
Yes. No, I think it was exactly that.
Of course it is. It's everywhere.
So yeah, and then also people were on Twitter, ex-streamers or current streamers and stuff saying contracts where they've had to up the ante on every hour I need a mid-roll ad break and stuff like that has lost me money and lost me viewers, and now I'm down from 2,000 concurrent viewers to 30 because the adverts were too much. So I've lost my audience. So I bet Amazon carry on doing this anyway because Twitch doesn't make them enough money as it is. Yeah. So that's kind of all the news as far as I am aware.
1 hour 45 minutes in. I guess that's all the news.
It's a pretty hefty news dump.
Yep, big dump.
Yeah,
and I know a thing or two about big dumps. So.
Emphasis on the dump.
Do we want to roll straight into what we've been playing, or do we want to break?
Shall we, as in an actual break or edit?
As in I will press pause and we will reconvene in a couple minutes or so. Hello, welcome back. Oh, that's a jingle. What have we been playing?
What have we been playing?
I want to start with Jacob and this WWE Battlegrounds nonsense.
Starting with the big guns.
I need you to tell me what the fuck this is.
So, WWE Battlegrounds is the video game that they've made in the year between them making genuine WWE 2K sim games, because the last one was dreadful. So it's very much in kind of the vein of WWE All-Stars in terms of its aesthetic, because it's kind of all cartoony, disproportioned characters, which...
Big head boys.
First point, it doesn't look as bad as I thought it would.
Does it look better in motion and on your TV than it does on any of those trailers that they've put out?
I mean, the effects were never my kind of concern, because obviously you put power-ups on and you get fiery hands or something like that, and you start punching people with those. Those I was never really concerned about those. It was always kind of the character models that I thought were going to look a bit jank, and I mean some of them look better than others, but generally speaking, I remember we spoke about it before, and you were like, it looks like it could be a PS1, early PS2 game, and it does look a bit mobile-y, but it's not kind of ugly, I would say.
It reminds me of those weird, knockoff Legends of Wrestling games.
Yeah, it could be in those kind of same line of games. Could be made by the same people.
I think I was saying it. I feel like you could put those models in monster trucks.
Yeah.
And just...
Crush Hour 2.
That's the one. I couldn't think of the name.
Yeah, I loved Crush Hour back in the day.
Was that the one with Kane on the front? On the front cover?
I think he was on the front. It was Kane, Brock, and someone else with cars. Yeah. gameplay wise, I would say it's more different to All Stars than I thought it would be, in that All Stars was a lot more kind of traditional fighting gamey, and that you could kind of like juggle people and stuff in it.
Yeah.
Whereas in this, it's more kind of grounded in the wrestling side of things, but it's a lot of fun, I would say, because I mean the animations for the moves, they're all completely over the top, and they're kind of, you get a lot of impact behind them. The arenas are really fun so far. I've not really actually experienced too many of them, but I like the creativity on display. I'm quite surprised at the amount of content there is in there as well, because there's a whole like single player story mode campaign thing that they've added in. There's like a challenge mode. In kind of a weird move for a 2020 game, you start off with very few characters, and you have to unlock like most of the roster, which you can either unlock through in-game currency or you can pay that sweet dollar.
Oh, I thought this was like you've got to beat like the campaign with Steve Austin to unlock The Rock.
I thought it was going to be that way, because I started playing the campaign this morning and played as their own created character. You don't create the characters in the campaign. You play as their character, Mr. Bolo Reynolds.
Wow.
Who's like a cyclist from New York. Yeah.
What?
You meet Bolo Reynolds because he accidentally crashes into Steve Austin in New York.
Hang on, is this all I've got in my head? All I've got in my head is the guy from One Punch Man.
He's
who rides his bicycle around, and he's a really shit hero.
If you think of like, I don't know, just like a really douchey looking New York cyclist, that's Bolo Reynolds.
Has he got like full on lycra with his little pointy helmet?
No, because he's like a street cyclist. He's got like a backwards cap and cargo shorts, and
so he's a dick.
What I think is a telephone cable around his wrist. But I mean, Ollie doesn't cycle, I'm sure, though. That's the distinction.
I own a bicycle at my mum's house.
But yeah, I beat Baron Corbin in the campaign this morning, and I didn't unlock him. So yeah, the only way you can do it is by kind of earning money from doing matches, or as I say, you can use real money to unlock people. But
so you will,
the exchange rate on that is particularly good.
So you will be doing the right thing and leaving Baron Corbin locked
until. I mean, I want to unlock everyone, but yes, he will be the last. I unlocked Finn Balor first, just in case.
There we go. How does he look? Because I would imagine in this style, like Finn Balor can become very ugly very quickly.
Very angry. I'll say that.
Very, just abs.
Yeah.
Just a large row of like a human xylophone.
That's all he is. Yeah, he doesn't even have a face. It's just all abs. But yeah,
a large slab of muscular meat.
I'm kind of looking forward to playing some more of it, a lot more than I thought I would. I thought it would just be the kind of thing where I'm like, I'll just throw it on every now and then and whatever. But I'm like, no, actually, we'll play through all of this single player stuff. And yeah, the gameplay itself is pretty engaging. It's actually not too easy either, which is quite nice.
That's actually, I was expecting you to say like, no, that's shit, mate. But
I was fully expecting it to be kind of not that great. But...
Like I was fully expecting you to sort of like not regret purchasing it, because obviously like you want to see what it is.
Oh, yeah.
But also at the same time because out of morbid curiosity, just to see what the fuck this is.
Yeah.
But now I actually hearing you talk about it positively, I kind of want to check it out myself.
For the story itself, as I say, where I experienced the story of Bolo Reynolds running into Steve Austin. Those are all carried out by like it's like comic book panels. They've made like a comic book story for this as well.
Yeah, because weirdly, Paul Heyman has been promoting this on his Instagram.
He's heavily in the story. The reason why the story is happening is because Paul Heyman is starting up a new brand, which is presumably the Battlegrounds brand. And yeah, he gets Steve Austin to help him find new talent, and that's when you run into Bolo.
Wow.
Classic Bolo.
So does this borrow from the actual WWE comics at all?
No, it looks entirely original.
Where we've got Bray Wyatt with his, I suppose has actual magical powers. I've not read these comics. They get weird.
He kidnapped Sasha Banks in those comics. Yeah.
What?
Like, why did Sasha Banks?
Joel.
Yes.
He's gone.
Oh.
It's over.
No, I can still hear you.
I can hear
Oh,
Damn.
This happened last time.
It's okay.
Yeah, no. The comics get really weird, as in like to explain away where wrestlers went when they were, injured, or like where was Sasha Banks for 6 months out of the year? When she just disappeared, and like people were like, she's leaving because of contract disputes.
She's sad because she lost at WrestleMania.
And it's like, no, Bray Wyatt kidnapped her and put her in on the farm.
You think she'd make mention of that when she came back? She had a traumatic kidnapping experience.
Or that, hey, she was actually recording the what's it called? The Mandalorian.
Yeah.
I was about to say the mandolin. Which I have in my house somewhere. So yeah, no, it's good. It's good to hear that that's not bad.
I'm pretty happy with it. Probably because I went in with low expectations. I'm like, oh wow, this is all right. But yeah, no, I'll definitely be playing more of it.
That's good to hear. Good to hear. Oliver.
Hello.
Tony Hawk.
I want to talk about Tony Hawk because not for some reason, I glossed over Tony Hawk on the last episode because my life was consumed by Crusader Kings.
Yes.
And for a large part still is. But I'm not going to talk about that again because I can't describe the happenings of that game to any justice. I think we'll need to play that at some point. But Tony Hawk, that game just puts a big old smile on my face.
Oh, it's good.
it makes me feel all warm and fuzzy and relevant.
So how does it play?
So it plays exactly like the original Pro Skater games. It's a nice, pretty upgrade, but virtually nothing has changed. I don't think the original Pro Skater actually had the manual in it. I think that was a later edition, so it's all the latest tricks available.
Yeah, so they basically added in. I know that they added in like Pro Skater 3 and 4 stuff.
Yeah, because I'm pretty sure Creator Skater wasn't added until 4. Obviously I think there'd be some uproar if that wasn't included in this. The actual Creator Skater mode is probably what I've put as much time into that as the actual levels themselves, because this is the most accurate depiction of myself I could ever form in a video game. And
you're gonna have to send me a picture.
Well, my outfit changes every day because I play this game every day. Sometimes I'll just want to tick off the kind of daily challenges that are in there now. Sometimes I just want to kick back and see if I can land a 1,000,000-point combo, which I did for the first time yesterday on Roswell, because you find a little circuit where you can literally just grind forever as long as you can keep your balance. So you just build up that multiplier, just keep doing little tricks in between your grinds. I put on the tutorial when I first started playing this because I thought, I've not played one of these games properly in 10 years, and within 30 seconds I was just like, this is just second nature. This all comes so naturally.
It's like riding a bike, except a skateboard.
Yeah, running an actual skateboard is another story. There's one currently sat in our garden that has injured me a few times since it made the trip.
This isn't Kelly Slater's Pro Surfer.
As I said, the game it brings me so much joy. It's nothing but a nostalgia fest, but those games have aged super well. Like I have emulated those games and gone back and played them within the last couple of years. Again, I've not put a lot of time in, but they hold up because the formula hasn't changed at all. It's just they probably look ugly as hell now. All this really needed was just a big graphical upgrade. It's got a big shop that only uses in-game currency, which is nice. No spending your real money here. It's pretty easy to earn money as well. You get bonus cash from doing the challenges and stuff, but all you've got to do is just do a 2-minute run on a level, and like just do some tricks. You just have a fun run. You get a good score and you'll get a decent amount of cash from it. So there's so much replayability because I just keep replaying these levels to build up my cash because I want this Volcom hoodie or some nice new Vans shoes.
Ollie, do you think this will be they'll eventually just drop the 1+2 from the name and just make it a platform where they'll just stick all the 3 and 4 at some point?
Cool.
I would certainly expect some DLC, which I would probably expect to be the 3 and 4 maps. I don't know if they'll go further and go into things like Underground, which I'd say were probably just as popular as Pro Skater, at least for myself.
It's up there, yeah.
But no, I could certainly see 3 and 4 getting added in. The other thing of note is that all the original skaters are still in there, but they are their present day character models.
Oh no, it's full of old men.
It's I used to always play as Rodney Mullen as a kid, and Rodney Mullen looks exactly the same but dehydrated.
Had some moisture sucked out.
He got salted. He turned into some jerky.
But no, I'm just gonna continue playing this game forever. I bought the digital copy of this specifically with the intent that I could always go back to it without having to get up. I could just be, anytime I want to quit out of whatever I'm currently playing, I can just rage out and play half an hour of Pro Skater.
So is this a full
it's
price
never
release?
just half an hour.
It calms me.
So I remember it was probably like a couple of days after it came out, so he was still playing like about 6 hours a day of Pro Skater. And I remember we were gonna, I don't know what, I think we said we were gonna go upstairs and watch a movie or something, or just like, I don't know, but it was maybe 11 o'clock at night. And then I was like, oh, are you coming to bed now, or are you playing? He was like, oh no, I'm just gonna finish this level. 3 a.m. he came to bed. 3 a.m.
Well, when you're stuck there just trying to wall ride all the school bells and ollie over Jack Black, then
I had a great time. I had the whole bed to myself.
You really lose track of time.
It's good. It's nice to hear that this everyone loves this, because boy, that Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 5 left people with a sour taste.
Yeah, I never touched that as much as I've played almost every game in the series. I couldn't bring myself to it.
And I guess that first HD remake that they did, was that on 360?
I was going to mention that, yeah, because I was like, they've brought this out before. But obviously it's not the same thing.
No, I think that one had major changes to it that people just didn't.
Probably during the time in my life when I was playing Skate.
Ah, yes.
And got offended at the thought of grinding over a phone wire.
Only realism for people on 4 wheels and a piece of wood. No, it's good to hear that there's some positivity going around.
This is it's just fun. It's just fun.
It's always nice to hear that there's fun games.
Is it a full price game?
It is full price. I bought the deluxe edition so I could get Ripper, the skeleton, who I've not touched once. I also got old school Tony Hawk clothes.
Oh boy.
This is what I spent my extra £10 on.
Oh boy. Oh boy. Speaking of spending money, Jacob.
Yes.
Magic the Gathering.
Yeah.
So you mentioned in our little group chat that you've gotten back into the fold.
I'm not back in quite yet. I'm basically in the position where I've been out of Hearthstone for quite a while now, and I don't think I'm going to go back. So I'm just like, I need something to scratch that itch. I've kind of considered playing Legends of Runeterra, but not really gone into that. So I was like, I do have my Magic the Gathering Arena account, and I'm like, I could start looking into that again. And then, just kind of heard through a couple of the videos I watched that things were going to be rotating soon. So I was like, it might be a good time to get into it.
Yep. So Zendikar Rising launched yesterday. It's Friday. I missed the pre-order bonus, whatever shit. Because guess what? I've been out of the Magic. I basically ignored Core Set 2021. I didn't bother. I fell off pretty hard during Ikoria.
Yep.
Which was the Godzilla big behemoth sized things. But you know, Zendikar doesn't really interest me as like a thing, but rotation does. Unfortunately, all the pieces of the game that pushed me away last time are mostly still in the fucking game. Like Uro, who, you know, like basically Magic, for people that don't know, Magic the Gathering is the world's longest running trading card game, whatever. But so split. So unlike for people, you know, like there's people that have gotten into card games via Hearthstone and never touched Magic, or you know, might have just started with Runeterra, and you know, they've played the Pokemon card game at some point. Magic is split into 5 colors, with gray being like a 6th, but it's like colorless, basically. Blue, black, green, white, and red. Very simple, like to like explain, but very, you know, deviously difficult. You know, guess what? People who are really good at maths and programming usually really love Magic the Gathering because it's basically building a computer. Like the game is Turing proof. Like a computer can never figure out how to play Magic the Gathering because there is too many options. The game is currently at this crossroads where they put so much effort into green and blue that the other colors have fallen by the wayside.
Right.
And it seems like this next set has already broken some of the other formats. So Magic Arena only has Historic and Standard and Brawl. Which, so standard is basically like, hey, here's the sets that you can play with this time. They rotate out in October or September, depending on what time of year, and then that's it. Historic is Arena's like exclusive, like, hey, play with all your old cards dating back to I think it's Amonkhet now, which is about 2015, 2016, I want to say.
I always had it like 5 years in my head ish.
Yeah,
so Amonkhet was when I joined.
I like that one. I like that pack.
That's the Egyptian themed.
Yeah. So at the same time I started, and I've made about as much progress in these last 5 years. Well, I've made no progress in these. I was looking for an analogy. I've made no progress. Every time I play the game, I have to relearn the game.
Yeah, so I like whenever rotation happens, I always say now is the best time to get into the game. Mostly because, like, you know, there's new dynamics. You know, there's a new set. So I've played a little bit. I've been playing. I bought the Battle Pass after the fact, but also I wanted to test out that Mac port that they've just rolled out, which doesn't have its own. So, like on Windows, you can either install it via like download the exe from the website, or install it via the Epic Game Store. I don't mind the Epic Game Store, whatever, doesn't matter. But the Mac version only lets you do it through the Epic Game Store.
Oh, right. It doesn't just have like an application that you download and put in your applications folder.
And the application is like this Mac port is fucking terrible.
Oh god.
There's no full screen.
Wow.
Which fine, whatever. But then it's also like weirdly slow. Like my MacBook Pro is not any slouch.
No.
Like it's got an i7 and whatever Intel integrate, but it's just weirdly slow. So, and also like it doesn't really work well with the touchpad, which kind of defeats the purpose.
That's a bummer.
So reinstalled it on my PC, whatever. I think this new set interests me a lot more than any of the previous two did, because I am playing white blue control.
Okay.
So I'm basically making the game unfun for people.
Pretty much.
But I'm looking forward to drafting because it seems like there's a big focus on +1/+1 counters and simple maths.
I used to really enjoy draft when I played Magic Arena.
Yeah, and now also like Magic Arena has like human drafting in it, which is great fun, especially when that one person has obviously left the computer for a long time and is holding up the entire draft table, and you have to sit there for 5 minutes until the game just basically kicks them and replaces them with a robot. So like drafting is no longer like, you obviously you can still draft with bots and stuff like that and take your time, but human drafting is a lot more fun because unfortunately, like, you draft with all these humans and then you don't play against these humans.
Oh, really?
It throws you into another pod
with different humans.
It'll just matchmake you with whoever is finished drafting, basically.
Oh, all right.
So instead of like,
actually keeping you in a group,
yeah, which is what I always like about in-person drafting is like, I see that you have gone for all reds, and I tried to do that as well, and now I'm fucked over. Shit.
Who's gonna win on 10, 4, 3?
Yeah, but like the PC app, like the PC program, whatever, is fucking broken as it is. That game is obviously struggling with all this data underneath in some cases. But it's nice to be back in the fold. I don't know when I'll get back into physical Magic again. Mostly because the coronavirus has fucking decimated like my play group that I would like the shop that I would play at. Fanboy 3 is currently in Manchester is currently trying to work around restrictions and stuff like that, but I don't fucking want to sit 6 feet across the table from someone.
Well, yeah. You never know.
And also, like, wear this mask in this hot, stuffy room all day. Like, I don't mind wearing the mask, but Jesus Christ, it's not a good smell to trap underneath. Nerds.
Yeah.
Like, Fanboy 3 has cleaned up their act a hell of a lot since they moved shop, and the store smells relatively fresh, but hey, humans sometimes don't smell so fresh.
Nope. Yeah. I can almost smell it just thinking about it.
Imagine so the old Fanboy 3 in Manchester was there for so long that like the smell was just embedded within the walls. Like, think CEX.
It's been marinating.
But stale.
Yeah.
Especially when the Yu-Gi-Oh people came through, the fucking troglodytes. But no, like, shouts out to like Fanboy 3 trying to keep things going, but I will not.
They won't be seeing you for a while.
Well, they didn't see me for a while anyway. But I won't be fucking going to play any physical Magic unless it's with people that I know. Like, hey, we still have that box of Dominaria sealed.
Oh yeah.
Because we got it, and then coronavirus happened.
Yeah, I'm now in two minds of whether just to hoard it for myself.
That's fair.
We did, and just keep hold of it for future reference, because I have a feeling a couple of those cards in that set are going to skyrocket in price at some point. Also, it's out of print, so money. Okay, that's Magic. Do you know what else is Magic?
Mario.
I've got to step back from my microphone for a second.
Oh god.
Mario.
Oh, that frightened me.
Wow!
Have we got a special
if
guest
JJ
on the
is
podcast
anywhere
right
near
now?
you, probably scared him.
Wow! This All-Stars port is pretty shit, Mario! Wow! Yeah, Mario 3D All-Stars is out. Our questions from the last podcast have been answered. Lauren.
Okay.
Right. Oh, okay. Let's break it down. Which of these ones have we played?
Only Sunshine, because I only got to play it today because I had a late shift.
Was tired last night.
And then we ordered a curry, which you know about, that hurt Ollie very badly. But it was very late, and by the time that had happened, I just wanted to go to bed. So I've played some Sunshine this morning, and I have a lot to say. But if you guys want to go chronologically and talk about 64 first,
yeah. So I have played. I've just started to get into the Desert World, which. So right, okay. These ports are very clearly just an emulator running, with very minor work done to all three games. Like to replace like text and logos, and so like when Mario 64 starts up, it doesn't say press start; it says like
press plus.
Press plus, yeah. Or it says press start with a plus sign next to it, which I find a little weird. Like I don't remember the 64 version having like the start button next to that press start. Either way, there's lots of little weird things I've noticed about all three ports. Outside of like text boxes being changed, like Galaxy is very clearly the one that has had the most work done to it. Like not as in like they've changed the game completely. It's it's just like they've gotten around all these little bits and pieces. Like when you're in handheld mode, the touchscreen comes into play. Or like there's no sensor bar anymore, so there's no like the little icon on the screen, the pointer. You can now reset with the right shoulder button at all times from whatever position you're in, and it'll just determine like where you're pointing. But Sunshine's the weirdest one out of the lot of them. Like the stuff that they've done to it. I don't, Lauren. What do you think?
I am just as bad at this game as I was when I played it on the GameCube. I can't tell if it's because it's weird or not, or if it's just, I don't know, because I know that it's a very strangely controlled game, but part of me just accepts that anyway because I played it so much. I can't put my finger on it.
Yeah, so the question we raised last week was like, how are they going to deal with FLUDD?
Yes.
The main new addition to Sunshine is you have a jetpack, a water jetpack thing that sprays water, and on GameCube it had analog control with the triggers. So you would lightly press and you could run with it. So they've basically just done away with that because it's digital triggers on the Switch. And so you, I think it's the right shoulder button is squirt and run. One of them is squirt. Basically, the right shoulder button and the right trigger.
Trigger is squirt. Shoulder
is
stand, and then you move with L Joy-Con to steer when you're standing still.
Yeah, and like Y is no longer, and because obviously like the buttons are vastly different to the GameCube. A and B are now jump, which is weird because B, and like Y is like dive, and X is still to switch the nozzle, but it's on the wrong end of the fucking the on the wrong it's in the wrong position in my brain. I'm still thinking GameCube
right
controller.
side.
Yeah. So the game on the GameCube, like the X and Y buttons were little squiggles on the side of the button of the A button, and then you'd press X, and it was in a nice easy place. A was a nice big button. So I'm having more difficulty getting into this game because of the controller than anything else.
Yeah, I think. I mean, I always found the controls a little bit wacky, and I've always been really rubbish at these kind of games, but I just really enjoy it. So I actually was prepared to be disappointed, and weirdly, I'm not.
So this is my exact reaction. This is my exact reaction. I was fully expecting to come onto this podcast screaming and shouting about how they've, wrecked everything. So let's not like beat around the bush. These ports and this entire collection is lazy as fuck.
Yeah, it is super, super lazy. However, I still can't be mad. I think it's because I'm so happy to finally have a way to play these games without having to emulate it, without having to go out of my way. Like, I'm happy to pay this stupid price to have these games that I can play portably and just to have. Does that make sense?
No, absolutely.
No, yeah, because it like Sunshine is getting increasingly more difficult to emulate as, control. Like, okay, if you want to emulate it now, you have to now play it with a PS4 controller because that's accurately, or an Xbox 360 or Xbox One controller because, the triggers Dolphin reads the triggers as analog. If you want to use a GameCube controller, you've got to have some weird fucking attachment. You've got to have that weird USB GameCube adapter that Nintendo put out for Smash Bros on the Wii U that doesn't fucking work with Windows whatsoever unless you download these weird drivers from some forum somewhere. So playing Sunshine properly in a nice way, it is easier to just sacrifice like 60 frames a second and proper 16:9.
Yeah.
And just basically take the hit.
It's super nostalgic. Like, just everything about it, like, it just makes me feel like, I don't know, it's just, for me, one of my favourite Mario games, even though I am so catastrophically bad. I forgot how bad the voice acting was. Oh my god.
No, boys, don't touch that stuff.
It was the fact that it was like...
my goop!
It was when the police Delfino man,
God.
when he was just like, this is an abomination, and
we'll know if you're slacking off.
It was the best.
So
and worst
I got
thing.
I got up to the revelation of Baby Bowser, Bowser Jr. That's it.
Yeah.
Bowser Jr. and oh my god, like that is some bad fucking voice acting. Like, you can understand
Bowser Jr.
Yeah, and you stay away from my mama, and it's just like
Mario,
what are you doing?
I'm fucking walking here.
I kind of love it even more though for the shit voice acting. Oh, yeah. It just makes it even more precious to me.
Oh, it's just like the best voice actress is the woman who is unfortunately designated to do Peach and Toads. Is the same voice actress, and they're the best bits in the game because, the first thing I did was spray Toadsworth in the face and hear him go, all the pieces are there. It's fine. It's incredibly lazy. Sunshine needs a lot more work. Like, if they were to ever re-release it again, they cannot put it out in this capacity again. This is the last time they could. This is the one and only time they can do this. All three of these games seriously need the Activision remake, remaster treatment. Especially fucking Galaxy, because holy shit, I can't play that game in handheld. I don't know what it is. but so as soon as I had to dig out, those Joy-Con attachments that basically give you the little nubbins triggers
on the side. Yeah.
Yeah.
Little side nubbins.
The little side nubbin attachments. I thought I'd lost them. Turns out they were just in some bag somewhere. I attached those to. I'd play it like I did on the Wii back in 2007, and it suddenly falls back into place.
See, I'm very curious because I think I'm gonna have a unique take to this because, Jacob, did you say you've not played Galaxy either?
I've mainly played Mario 64, played some of Sunshine, and virtually nothing of Mario Galaxy.
I have never played Galaxy besides like fleetingly if someone else had it at their house. So I'm very excited to see what all the hype is about because I only hear good things about this game.
So I got my Wii on launch day in 2006. Jesus, we're going back. We're going back, boys. And so my mum at the time was getting the Grattan magazine, which is like catalog, stuff like that. Mm-hmm. And inside there was the pre-order page for all these Wii games that didn't have cover art on them because they were only either barely announced or still being shown, and I was still in the phase of buying all the Nintendo magazines. NGC had just NGC. So NGC had just switched over to Endgamer.
I used to get Cube mostly.
Yes, Cube was the weird one with the DVDs on the front. Was like one doesn't play on the GameCube, so you can't. But I think they still printed them to mini discs.
They did them on the little discs, but you put them in a DVD player.
Yeah, that's how I was introduced to Resident Evil because they published a magazine featuring Resident Evil 4 on the cover. And they had the trailer on, and it scared the shit out of me because I was 9 years old. Yeah. Cube was the weird one for me. Like Cube was like the one that I only got for the DVDs. I never actually read the articles. Yeah. NGC and Endgamer is the ones that I read the stuff. But so Endgamer had like a DVD like in 2006 of like the E3 showing of Galaxy for the first time. And your mind's fucking blown. Like, holy shit! Look at this boss fight. Look at Mario. He looks so detailed. And obviously, then there's like, and the Wii looks incredible. Like, wow, it's still called the Revolution, so it's not called the Wii yet. And then, so this Grattan magazine, there's the pre-order. It just says Mario Galaxy on this. I remember it because it was on this fake Wii case printed in the magazine with just Mario Galaxy and Arial font on it.
Super Mario Galaxy.
Mario Galaxy. Here it is. So I had asked my mum, like, can I pre-order this? It doesn't come out for a while. I think at the time it was supposed to come out the summer. And it didn't end up coming out till December of 2007, roughly. Because remember, it was around Hanukkah, Christmas time. And she sent it back because it arrived 3 days too soon and it was £50 rather than 40. So I had to wait till like a scrub till launch day for Mario Galaxy. But no, so I have fond memories of Galaxy. Fonder memories of Galaxy 2 because I was one of those terrible human beings that contributed to Galaxy 2 being the most pirated game of all time for nearly 2 years.
Hey. Yeah.
Yeah, that's still like my favorite statistic is just like people don't fucking have their Wiis anymore or have PCs that play the Wii games better than the Wii does anyway. Because that game came out really late in the Wii's life cycle.
Yeah, wasn't it also like the highest rated Metacritic game or something?
For a while, yeah. Like no one had a bad word to say about Galaxy 2, which is why it's even weirder that it's not included with this package.
I heard it wasn't kind of viewed too well internally in Nintendo, was what I heard. But a lot of people who were kind of put to making Mario Galaxy 2 weren't too jazzed about it because it was basically just more Mario Galaxy 1.
Yeah, but also like, at least they weren't, cast off to the new Super Mario mines. To forever make these Wah wah.
Ba ba.
Ba ba.
I gotcha.
No, so 64 is Mario 64. Like,
yes,
that port is that game. Like,
it's
there is
on the collection that I've definitely, that I put a lot of time into. I kind of played a bit of Sunshine and Galaxy and ran around the starting area to be like, so I'll see what they look like. But it's been mainly 64 that I've been playing. I think I'm about 40 stars in.
Wow. Okay.
And yeah, no, it's a good time. It's still got all of its kind of I'm an old game kind of wacky.
Yeah.
Where its camera just frustrates me and.
Good lord, that camera! Like, I still don't understand why they have mapped the push the camera forward to the right analog stick
on there. Yeah,
when you press up, it just like it's just like it's useless, and it gets in the way because you can only turn the camera left and right anyway, and the camera sort of readjusts itself, upwards and downwards, depending on where you are. But yeah, no, like the weirdest thing in the Sunshine port is I've had like ridiculous slowdown in certain areas, especially on Isle Delfino. When there's a lot of stuff going, so like the Dorian stand, I kicked the Dorians and then jumped, and there's like genuine stutter. Or whenever I load into Delfino Plaza, especially when the guy's on fire before you put him out. That stuttered. Galaxy, I've had the most. I wouldn't say that like like these games are all fucking great. Like, as much as the ports are lazy, these games are still great. 64 is still Mario fucking 64. Sunshine, for whatever its quirks, like I still hold near and dear to my heart. And Galaxy is still Mario fucking Galaxy. Like, as slow as that game is to start, once it gets going, it's really fucking good.
There's a reason they can get away with taking the laziest possible approach to these games, is because they know that people love them this much. They're still going to buy them. They're still going to rake in the dollar bills.
Yeah,
and they're still good games in their own right.
Yeah, so I get why they've been lazy. It's very typical of Nintendo. They will probably do the bare minimum because they know that they don't need to make any more effort because we're all chumps.
Pretty fucking much. But like so like another weird thing I noticed. So Mario Sunshine's intro area is basically burnt into the back of my skull.
Yes, I felt this. I felt like I was in my mind castle as soon as that game started.
Yeah, so because when I first got my GameCube, it wasn't until the weekend where I got a memory card. So I had to replay the intro to Mario Sunshine over and over and over again until. I
forgot about the beauty of memory cards with GameCube.
Well, they're coming back because the Xbox Series X will require basically specialized hard drive memory cards from Seagate. Because if you want to match the SSD speeds inside, and increase the space, which is retailing for about $219. But like, so that intro where Flood's explaining things to you, so it's just a video. It's just a video, and it's very clear someone has gone into the audio of the video and press the R button.
Yes, I also noticed this.
Because there is a definite gap, like... Yep. Like, it's
not smooth at all.
No, and they were hoping no one would notice, but guess what, Nintendo? I've played that intro more times than you would, even, like, more times than Miyamoto has probably ever looked over it.
Yeah.
Like, more times than... The only person who's probably seen that intro more than me in this entire world is a speedrunner. Like, anyone because they're unskippable. Those cutscenes still unskippable.
Still, Galaxy... I was disappointed to know that they were unskippable still, because Galaxy's
cutscenes Galaxy's cutscenes, I thought they would just continue, like where it's introduced, like there's a storybook beginning at the start and you've got to press A to get through it, and I forgot you got to press A, so I was like, well, this is going on quite a long time. It's like, no, it's still at the first fucking text box. You dumb fucker, like press A. I'm trying to think of like anything else I've noticed, but for the most part, like I've spent most of my time in Galaxy, which I didn't think I would do.
I'm trying to do them one at a time because I know that I will struggle to dance between.
Yeah, I can't juggle them. I'm like, I'll just play them in order, and that'll do it for me.
So the only one that I've actually met is going back to 64. No, between 64 and Galaxy, because they use very similar control schemes. On I find it okay. It's going to Sunshine and trying to long jump and realizing it's not in there is the bit, because the long jump would break a majority of those floodless levels. Which I must have gotten better at video games at some point in my life, because there are huge swaths of that game I was worried about playing and have managed to like beat the second PT Piranha fight, which I never managed to do when I was younger. The floodless level on the theme park, with the disappearing blocks, where you have to learn to dive to get through it. I've managed to finish that. Like, there's points of that game where I'm like, this wasn't so bad. It's just the controls.
Yeah, for sure. Like, I remember just putting it down to being terrible as a kid. Like, I just sucked. Like, it would take me ages to navigate through a new area because I was just so bad. And like, I definitely surprised myself a bit because I was part of it. I don't know if it's because it's just so ingrained in my memory that I just knew where to go still, but also on the complete opposite side, there's still some bits that make me angry. Like, when you in Bianco Hills, for example, when there's that frustratingly tiny wall space with an X where you can spray it and the blue thing comes out the other side. Holy shit, I got stuck in there for so long because I couldn't work out how to get out. Never mind get out in time to get the blue coin.
You got a wall jump.
I know, but I couldn't see myself because the camera's just shocking.
Oh, right, yeah. And then you're the blue dot.
Yeah, couldn't do it. I got so mad that I didn't even attempt it once I managed to free myself.
Yeah, there's like all the weird glitches and quirks are still in.
Yep.
Like it's I don't know. Like that gate. I'm not looking forward to entering Corona Mountain. The last, like, jokes aside, like, that fucking level is terrible. Terrible. It is Goku's brother, Turble. That's a joke.
Actually, Vegeta, I'll have you know. Sorry.
Is it? Is Turble not?
Turble is vegetable.
No, the evil Goku from the.
Ah, you're thinking of Turles, mate.
Oh, that's why.
Schooled by Jacob.
Fake fan.
Dragon Ball Z expert.
Fake fan. Fake fan. Oh god.
No, my friendship has been ended with Dragon Ball Z. One Piece is my best friend now.
Luffy, Monkey D. Luffy.
That's the one.
Someone I know just got a bunny and they named it Luffy.
Oh, I totally would do that.
This really takes me back to so many of our podcasts where they would just find a Dragon Ball tangent and I would just sit back and
I do
watch it happen. Ball, but... Yeah, that Broly movie is still fucking good.
Really good.
Not the old Broly stuff,
no,
the new Broly stuff.
New Broly, yeah.
New Broly.
The one Keith Lee dressed as.
Yeah. Fucking great.
Boy.
Fucking great. What a good fucking movie to see in a cinema.
Yeah.
Yeah, no. Mario All Stars.
I like it.
Yeah, it's
I regret to admit that I like it because
you were Miss Joel, the taking the cynical approach, like, oh, I'm going to get it a couple of days later because everyone's going to tell me how bad it is. And then you were like, maybe I'll get it the day after. And then you saw how it was reviewing. You were like, I'm getting it on release. I'm getting it.
No. So the reviews, I read the Vice review, the Kotaku review, and the Polygon review. And the consensus basically was like, look, these games have fucking been, they're just like, people have ripped apart the files for Mario 64 in this just to see what it is, because there's that Mario 64 leak from a few months ago. Because for some reason Nintendo's Vault is got a puncture and seems to just be squirting out every now and then.
Yeah.
So it turns out like, nah, that this is an emulated version of the game because it's the Wii U port that was on the Virtual Console.
Oh, interesting.
Because there are strings of code. There's strings of code in here that are like directly referencing like Ocarina of Time, and basically the same strings that are in the Wii U Virtual Console port. But like no, so like Mario 64 is a weird one because I was only a few months ago I was playing it on my PC in the most perfect port going 16:9, not 4K like the graphics are but like no, everything's been up-res to 4K because that source port leaked and someone compiled it together, and you have to go digging around on the internet to find it, but it's not too hard. But if you're not willing to drop the money on All-Stars, guess what? If you have a PS4 controller, I guess like Galaxy is still a little bit difficult to emulate. And I don't, hey, legally I've got to say, like, if you don't own these games, don't emulate them.
We don't condone it.
Don't go steal them.
Do the thing. You wouldn't pirate a car.
No.
But also, if you happen to end up with a .n64
that's the slogan.
But our headphones just gave us a little low battery warning, so
let's wrap this thing up. But
Good
basically,
point.
there is a guy that has worked on an HD pack for Super Mario Sunshine that I would recommend you play via Dolphin. If you don't want to play this Nintendo 64 version, this Nintendo Switch version. So that'll do it.
This has been a podcast.
Damn.
It has. Thank you for joining us.
I realised that wasn't directed at me.
No, it wasn't. It wasn't. We're going to end this now. You can find everything on superprofessional.co.uk. Hopefully at some point there will be other names posted on there other than Joel, just whatever WordPress has designated me. But yes, thank you.
Thank you.
Goodbye.
You're welcome.
Toodles.
Bye.
Wow!